Behind the glittering curtain of Hollywood, there is a world most people never see. It is a world of families, legacies, and children who grow up in the shadow of fame. Many people know the stars, the faces on the big screen, the names that fill magazine covers, but what about their children? The eldest children of these celebrities often have unique stories. Some follow in their parents' footsteps, stepping into the spotlight with courage and determination, while others carve entirely new paths, choosing careers and lifestyles that are very different from their parents. The world of celebrity children is filled with fascinating contrasts, surprises, and sometimes challenges. Take, for example, Dennis Quaid and his son Jack Quaid. Dennis, a Hollywood icon of the 1980s and 1990s, built a career with charm, charisma, and talent. He starred in films like The Right Stuff, The Parent Trap, and The Big Easy, showing audiences that he could play everything from dramatic roles to light-hearted comedies. His jawline, his charm, and his presence made him one of the most recognized actors of his time. But Jack Quaid, born to Dennis and Meg Ryan, did not simply ride on his father's fame. Instead, he sought to create a career that was uniquely his own. He became widely known for his role in The Boys, where he plays Huey Campbell, a character who is very different from the heroes audiences are used to. Jack has a quiet strength, a subtle intensity, and a willingness to take on diverse roles in indie films, horror movies, and voice acting projects. Jack represents a new generation of actors who respect their family legacies but are not bound by them. Then there is Gary Busey and his son Jake Busey, whose story is filled with intensity and energy. Gary became famous for his raw, electric performances in films like The Buddy Holly Story, which earned him an Oscar nomination. He was wild, passionate, and unforgettable. Jake, however, approached acting with a different style. While he inherited his father's energy, he focused on control, precision, and versatility. From his breakout role in Starship Troopers to appearances in various cult films and television series, Jake has built a career that honors his father's legacy without being overshadowed by it. He is a reminder that talent can run in the family, but it is shaped differently by each person. Another fascinating duo is James Marsden and Jack Marsden. James is known for his charming presence, classic good looks, and versatility in both film and television. From his role as Cyclops in X-Men to romantic leads and dramatic performances, James has established a reputation for subtlety and poise. Jack, born in 2001, took a completely different path. Rather than pursuing acting, he has focused on music, fashion, and creative expression, demonstrating that even in the same family, passion and talent can manifest in diverse ways. Similarly, Michael Keaton and his son Sean Douglas provide an example of how talent can flow in unexpected directions. Michael, famous for playing Batman and for roles in films like Beetlejuice and Birdman, became a Hollywood legend through charisma, comic timing, and dramatic skill. Sean, on the other hand, pursued a career in music production, creating songs that became hits while keeping a low public profile. Their story shows that even when one generation shines in front of cameras, the next can find success behind the scenes, using the same creative spark in entirely different ways. These examples illustrate a central truth: celebrity children often face the challenge of defining themselves outside the shadows of their famous parents. Whether they step into acting, music, fashion, or other forms of creativity, they carry the weight of expectation, public scrutiny, and personal ambition. The journeys of Dennis and Jack Quaid, Gary and Jake Busey, James and Jack Marsden, and Michael and Sean Douglas show how family ties influence careers, but do not determine them. Each child navigates their path, learns from successes and failures, and strives to be seen for their own talents. Beyond these families, Hollywood is full of similar stories. From Hopper Penn, the son of Sean Penn, to Jason and Tyler Ritter, the sons of John Ritter, each family presents a mix of talent, opportunity, struggle, and individual choice. Some children quickly rise to fame, while others grow slowly, discovering their passions and skills away from the public eye. All of them demonstrate that legacy is not a straight path. Instead, it is a complex, dynamic journey, full of surprises, creativity, and sometimes challenges that only those born into fame can truly understand. The lives of celebrity children remind us that behind every star on the red carpet, there is a family, a story, and a legacy being written every day. One of the most interesting aspects of celebrity children is how they choose to approach their parents' fame. Some embrace it openly, using it as a springboard to launch their own careers, while others intentionally step away, creating their own identities without relying on family connections. Hopper Penn, for example, born to Sean Penn and Robin Wright, has chosen a slower, more deliberate path in Hollywood. While his father is known for intense, award-winning performances in films like Mystic River and Milk, Hopper has taken on smaller, independent roles that allow him to explore his craft at his own pace. He has faced personal challenges, including navigating addiction and public expectations, yet he continues to carve out his own space in the entertainment world. Similarly, John Ritter's sons, Jason and Tyler Ritter, followed paths inspired by their father's legacy but expressed in their own unique ways. John Ritter, beloved for his role as Jack Tripper on Three's Company, had a combination of comedic timing, warmth, and sincerity that made him unforgettable. Jason Ritter emerged as a talented actor in his own right, with notable roles in Parenthood and voice work in Frozen 2. Tyler Ritter, younger and quieter, built his career steadily with appearances on series like NCIS and Arrow. The Ritter family demonstrates how legacy can inspire without defining, providing a foundation while still allowing room for individuality. Another compelling example is Ryan Philippe and his eldest child, Deacon Philippe, born to Ryan and Reese Witherspoon. Ryan, a teen heartthrob in the late 1990s with roles in films like Cruel Intentions and I Know What You Did Last Summer, later demonstrated versatility in more dramatic and action-oriented projects. Deacon, however, has expressed himself differently, choosing music and digital platforms as his primary outlet. His debut single shows authenticity, emotional depth, and creative ambition, proving that he is carving his own path while honoring his family's artistic legacy. Similarly, Ethan Hawke and his eldest son, Levon Hawke, represent a new generation exploring creativity across multiple mediums. Ethan, known for films like Dead Poets Society and Boyhood, is admired for his thoughtful performances and literary endeavors. Levon is following his curiosity, exploring acting and music while learning from his father's experiences. These families show that talent, when nurtured thoughtfully, can manifest in diverse ways. Each child learns from the successes and failures of their parents, but ultimately must discover their own voice, style, and vision. The story of celebrity children is not just about fame or inheritance, it is about ambition, self-expression, and the pursuit of individuality in the face of public scrutiny. In some cases, this path is easier when the parent is supportive and provides guidance, while in others, it requires breaking away from expectations entirely. Across Hollywood, these narratives continue to unfold, each unique but connected by the shared experience of growing up in the shadow of fame. From Dennis Quaid to Jack Quaid, Gary Busey to Jake Busey, and Sean Penn to Hopper Penn, the lessons are clear: legacy matters, but so does personal choice, resilience, and courage. These stories teach audiences not only about talent but also about determination, creativity, and the human desire to be seen as oneself, not just as the child of someone famous. The lives of celebrity children highlight more than talent, they reveal lessons about identity, opportunity, and growth. Being the eldest child in a high-profile family carries responsibilities that few outsiders can fully understand. Public attention, comparisons to parents, and high expectations can create pressures that are both motivating and challenging. Yet, many celebrity children embrace these challenges with grace, using them to develop their own skills and express themselves in meaningful ways. Consider the examples of Michael Keaton and Sean Douglas, Sean Penn and Hopper Penn, or James Marsden and Jack Marsden. In each case, the children demonstrate that talent may run in the family, but success requires hard work, focus, and creative risk-taking. Even when their choices diverge from their parents, they carry lessons learned through observation, mentorship, and inspiration. Another dimension of these stories is how fame shapes character. Growing up with cameras, attention, and high expectations can teach resilience, empathy, and adaptability. For instance, Jack Quaid learned early that he needed to forge his own identity in Hollywood, leading him to choose roles that challenged him rather than relying on his parents' fame. Similarly, Jake Busey embraced his father's intensity while learning control and craft. These experiences show that the journey of a celebrity child is not only about professional success but also personal growth. Many find ways to give back, create meaningful art, and influence audiences positively. Music, film, and television become mediums through which they communicate their individuality while maintaining a connection to their family legacy. Ultimately, the stories of celebrity children are a mix of inspiration, struggle, and achievement. From Dennis and Jack Quaid to Ryan and Deacon Philippe, each family illustrates that fame is a platform, not a limitation. The journey of these eldest children reminds us that talent is nurtured through effort, creativity, and courage. They teach us that being born into fame does not define one's destiny, rather, it is how one chooses to embrace opportunities, overcome challenges, and honor their own path that truly matters. Hollywood's landscape will continue to evolve, and new generations of children will rise to meet it, inspired by the legacies of those who came before, yet determined to create their own stories. As audiences, we watch not only for the fame but for the human stories behind the spotlight, the dedication, creativity, and resilience that make each child's journey worth following. These 25 celebrity families provide a glimpse into that world, showing us that behind every headline, award, and red carpet, there is a story of growth, choice, and the pursuit of personal expression. From acting to music, from fashion to digital media, these eldest children prove that talent, when paired with determination and individuality, can flourish in any form. Hollywood may shine on the surface, but the true stories lie in these families, where legacy and personal ambition meet to create extraordinary journeys that inspire audiences around the world. In Hollywood, family legacies are both inspiring and complicated, and few stories show this better than Bill Hudson and his son, Oliver Hudson. Bill was part of the famous Hudson brothers in the 1970s, a musician and TV star with charm, talent, and fame that drew millions of eyes. But behind the lights, his personal life was messy. His marriage to Goldie Hawn ended, and he drifted away from his children. Oliver grew up mostly with Goldie and her longtime partner, Kurt Russell, not knowing his father closely, yet the pull of performance was in his blood. Oliver chose comedy and acting, creating his own path from Rules of Engagement to Nashville and beyond. He built a career that showed wit, depth, and resilience, proving that family absence could be transformed into personal strength. Similarly, Robert Pine and Chris Pine show a balance between steady craft and sparkling talent. Robert, with over 200 credits, was a calm and reliable presence on TV, particularly known for Chips, while Chris took that foundation and became a star on the global stage, as Captain Kirk and in other blockbuster films. Their story shows how patience, skill, and charisma can merge across generations. Then there is the Bridges family. Lloyd Bridges, a TV and film fixture with over 150 credits, created a home full of talent. His sons, Jeff and Beau Bridges, both carved remarkable paths. Jeff became a legend with films like The Last Picture Show and Crazy Heart, while Beau showed versatility from drama to comedy in The Fabulous Baker Boys and Masters of Sex. The Bridges story shows that legacy is not just about fame, but about texture, effort, and commitment to craft, passing values from one generation to the next without needing to compete for attention. Across these families, the common theme is resilience, craft, and the unique bond between parent and child in shaping careers, showing that sometimes legacy is not a shadow, but a light guiding the next generation forward. Some families show that talent is almost inherited, and no one demonstrates this better than Stellan Skarsgård and his sons. Stellan's calm and intense presence in European cinema and Hollywood films like Breaking the Waves, Good Will Hunting, and the Thor franchise is impressive alone, but the next generation is equally remarkable. Alexander, Gustav, Bill, and Walter Skarsgård each pursued acting with dedication. Alexander gained fame in True Blood and Big Little Lies, Gustav in Vikings, Bill shocked audiences as Pennywise, and Walter is slowly building his career in indie cinema. They inherited their father's intensity but created their own paths, showing that guidance can lead to independence rather than imitation. In music, Julio Iglesias and his sons also demonstrate legacy in creative ways. Julio became a global sensation, selling over 300 million records and performing in multiple languages. His eldest son, Julio Jr., followed in his footsteps with albums and television appearances, walking the line between homage and independence. But it was Enrique who completely transformed the family legacy, bringing Latin pop to international stages with hits like Bailemos and Tonight. Enrique's success shows that legacy can be inherited, but innovation is necessary to stand out. The Cyrus family offers another example of branching talent. Billy Ray Cyrus exploded onto the music scene in 1992 with Achy Breaky Heart, becoming a cultural phenomenon. His children, Trey, Trace, and Brazen Cyrus, all found their own voices. Trace explored pop and rock with Metro Station, embracing rebellion and modern sound, while Brazen preserved country and folk roots, quietly carving his own identity. Billy Ray adapted and evolved with each child, proving that legacy is flexible, supportive, and grows with each generation. These stories show that whether in music or film, the bond between parent and child can be a foundation, a springboard, and sometimes a challenge, but ultimately, it can produce incredible results when nurtured with care. The world of entertainment is full of examples where children either follow or redefine their parents' paths. Ice Cube, the revolutionary rapper turned Hollywood actor, paved a path with NWA, Friday, and various film franchises. His son, O'Shea Jackson Jr., took on a remarkable challenge when he portrayed Ice Cube himself in Straight Outta Compton. Rather than being a mere copy, he expanded the legacy, taking on varied roles in blockbusters and indie films, showing his own talent and individuality. Will Smith and Jaden Smith show another dimension, where fame and creativity intertwine. Will, rising from Fresh Prince to a box office icon, became a symbol of possibility and positivity. Jaden, however, did not simply follow. From acting in the pursuit of happiness to expressing himself through fashion, music, and activism, Jaden created a unique identity while navigating the pressures of his father's fame. Similarly, Tom Hanks and Colin Hanks illustrate a quieter, subtler legacy. Tom, the beloved everyman of Hollywood, built a career on decency, charm, and vulnerability. Colin has followed more reserved paths, embracing nuance and understated roles rather than copying his father's style. Finally, Kurt Russell and Wyatt Russell exemplify how children can take completely different directions. Kurt's iconic roles in action and adventure films made him a household name. Wyatt, a former professional hockey player turned actor, chose roles that are darker, slower burning, and psychologically complex. These family stories remind us that legacy is not about copying, it is about growth, independence, and finding one's own voice. Through both similarity and contrast, children redefine what it means to inherit talent and responsibility, showing that family bonds in entertainment are not just about fame, they are about opportunity, guidance, and exploration. Celebrities often live lives full of fame, glamour, and pressure, but behind every headline, there are families, stories, and relationships that shape who they are. One of the most interesting aspects of celebrity life is the bond between famous parents and their eldest children. These firstborns often grow up in the spotlight, surrounded by wealth, talent, and expectation, yet they are individuals with their own dreams, struggles, and paths. From Hollywood legends to music icons, these eldest children sometimes follow in their parents' footsteps, while others take completely different routes. Their stories are a mix of admiration, challenge, and inspiration. In this video, we will explore the lives of 25 famous celebrities and their eldest children, highlighting how they honor their parents' legacies, build their own careers, and navigate the complex world of fame. Let's begin with Jerry Stiller and Ben Stiller. Jerry Stiller was an unforgettable force in comedy. Loud, energetic, and full of personality, he made people laugh with roles like Frank Costanza in Seinfeld and Arthur Spooner in The King of Queens. He had a unique ability to combine chaos with warmth, to make audiences laugh while feeling connected to the character. His comedy was instinctive. Every gesture, every pause, every shout felt perfectly timed. Audiences loved him not just for his humor but for his heart. Jerry Stiller's influence went beyond the screen, it shaped the household in which his son, Ben Stiller, grew up. From an early age, Ben was exposed to the craft of comedy, the art of timing, and the discipline it takes to entertain millions. Yet, growing up in the shadow of a legendary comedian brought its own challenges. Ben didn't want to be just a replica of his father. He wanted to create his own identity in the world of entertainment. He was determined to take the lessons learned from his father and shape them into something uniquely his. This drive led him to writing, directing, and producing films that balanced humor with intelligence. Movies like Zoolander, Tropic Thunder, and The Secret Life of Walter Mitty showcase Ben's ability to blend absurd comedy with emotional depth. While Jerry's humor was instinctive and raw, Ben's was carefully crafted, demonstrating an understanding of structure and audience engagement. Despite their differences, the father-son duo shared a deep respect and understanding of comedy. They acted together on occasion, learning from each other, complementing one another, and keeping the spirit of laughter alive within their family. When Jerry passed away in 2020, it was a moment of profound loss, both personally for Ben and professionally for the comedy world. Yet, Ben's work since then has reflected growth, experimentation, and courage, proving that the lessons from his father continue to guide him. In every punchline, there is a story, and in every story, there is a hint of legacy. Next, let's look at Philip Seymour Hoffman and Cooper Hoffman. Philip Seymour Hoffman was not a conventional leading man, but his talent was unmatched. Known for his intensity, depth, and emotional honesty, he brought characters to life in ways that left audiences spellbound. From his Academy Award-winning performance in Capote to his mesmerizing roles in The Master and Doubt, Philip had a gift for revealing the human soul, exploring vulnerability, flaws, and brilliance. Behind the scenes, he was a father to his eldest child, Cooper. Growing up with a parent who carried such a powerful presence in Hollywood could have been overwhelming, but Cooper's journey shows a gentle continuation of his father's artistry. Philip passed away in 2014, leaving a gap in Hollywood and in his family. Years later, Cooper made his acting debut in Licorice Pizza, 2021, carrying a quiet strength and natural presence on screen. He didn't attempt to imitate his father, but audiences could sense the influence. Cooper's performances are subtle, authentic, and emotionally resonant, reflecting the courage and dedication he inherited. The way he engages with a character, without overacting or trying to prove himself, demonstrates a level of maturity beyond his years. Cooper continues his father's legacy not by recreating it, but by honoring it, showing that talent and artistry can be passed down while still allowing individuality to flourish. His journey reminds us that being an eldest child of a celebrity comes with both privilege and responsibility, and that the path to finding one's own voice is unique for every individual. Moving to the music world, Mariah Carey and her eldest twins, Moroccan and Monroe Cannon. Mariah Carey is one of the most iconic singers of our time, known for her extraordinary vocal range, powerful ballads, and enduring influence in pop music. Her eldest children, twins Moroccan and Monroe, have grown up in an environment filled with music, performance, and public attention. Unlike some celebrity children who shy away from fame, they have expressed curiosity and interest in the creative arts, influenced by their mother's work ethic and passion. Being the eldest in such a household comes with high expectations, as well as opportunities to learn and develop their own talents. Moroccan and Monroe have witnessed the highs and lows of their mother's career, from record-breaking albums to personal struggles, and these experiences provide them with lessons about resilience, creativity, and determination. Even though they are young, they are already building a sense of identity that balances public attention with private growth, learning from their mother's achievements while charting their own paths. Another fascinating story is Kris Jenner and her eldest child, Kourtney Kardashian. As the matriarch of the Kardashian-Jenner family, Kris has played a central role in shaping the public personas and business ventures of her children. Kourtney, as the eldest, grew up with the dual role of sibling and example, balancing her own ambitions with the influence of her mother's vision. She became a model, businesswoman, and media personality, showing how an eldest child can navigate the complexities of fame, family, and entrepreneurship. Her story highlights the challenges and rewards of being firstborn in a family where public image is closely tied to personal identity. Kourtney's experiences reflect themes of leadership, responsibility, and finding balance in a world constantly watching and judging. In Hollywood, the pattern continues with Goldie Hawn and her eldest daughter, Kate Hudson. Goldie Hawn became a beloved actress for her comedic timing and charm, winning audiences over with movies like Private Benjamin and Overboard. Kate Hudson inherited not only her mother's talent but also the drive to carve out her own space in the entertainment industry. Growing up with a famous parent meant that comparisons were inevitable, yet Kate used these experiences to her advantage, building a career that showcases her own strengths and personality. She embraced the lessons of her mother's career, learned from both successes and challenges, and developed her own brand that resonates with audiences worldwide. These stories illustrate a pattern seen among many celebrity families. The eldest child often carries the weight of expectation, the privilege of insight, and the opportunity to honor a legacy while forging a personal path. They learn resilience, creativity, and self-expression by observing their parents' careers and navigating public scrutiny. Each of these eldest children, Ben Stiller, Cooper Hoffman, Moroccan and Monroe Cannon, Kourtney Kardashian, Kate Hudson, demonstrates how the blend of influence, opportunity, and personal ambition shapes a new generation of talent. Whether they choose to follow in their parents' footsteps or create an entirely different identity, the eldest child often becomes a reflection of legacy, innovation, and the balance between public life and personal growth.